everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man looking so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
Hey, everybody out there in TV and Facebook land. It's your boy, Nick Rosario, and things may look a little different here today. You're noticing someone may be missing. Our good buddy Sean Spencer, who's usually our captain and commander, has taken the week off, something about a bunion or something. I don't know. He's recovering. So this week, you get Captain Nick Rosario. I'm going to be manning the ship here. But, of course, I'm never alone, baby. And it's so sweet when you have people that are here to help you. So, next to me, the man, the myth, the legend, I suppose, the man of 4,000 aliases, sticky fingers, other fingers, Cheeto fingers, Dorito fingers, Anthony Handy, my man. Here he is to join us this evening. Anthony, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Why you got to give out my full government issue?
Sorry, bro.
You gave out all the aliases. Now I got to change them all.
There you go. Fantastic. IRS, you know where to find them. And below me, as always, the lovely, always makes this show look better anyways, because we're a bunch of ugly mugs. Delilah Crespo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, hi, everybody. Hi, right. Wendy.
Wendy's already saying hi. Hello, Wendy. Thank you so much. Again, we always appreciate all of you tuning in. Again, welcome to Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable, our regular Tuesday evening program for you. One thing to get us started here, though, really quick, folks. For those of you who do live in Chicago, I'm going to take a quick moment to say a few words about Mr. Les Grobstein. For those of you who may not know who Les is a Chicago sports reporter who literally was a walking encyclopedia of knowledge. This guy could, at any moment, you could ask him anything, and he would pull up a stat, pull up a date, pull up a score, pull up anything having to do with sports in Chicago in the last 50 years right off the top of his head. I did an interview with him once, and he just astounded me. But unfortunately, he passed away unexpectedly on Sunday at the age of 69. He worked in Chicago sports for 50 years. Started as an 18-year-old as an intern or something. So, literally, Les had a great career. He was the overnight guy at one of our local sports. He would do 12 to 5, midnights to 5 a.m. every night. And I'm telling you, listening to his show, if you were a sports geek nut, that's the show you wanted to listen to. I mean, he would basically just take callers and talk sports all night. It was great. So real quick, thank you, Les, for always entertaining me. I've been watching you, listening to you since I was a kid. So I really appreciate everything you did, and getting a chance to meet you was pretty nice. You were a nice guy, always, helpful, talking, whatever it was. So R.I.P. Mr. Les Grobstein. So thank you, Les, for all your years of service. And that's one of those things. Let's get into then the important stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Why you listen to this program? Football. And boy, did we have some great ones this past weekend. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our weekend kind of wrap up we like to do here. Now, of the big winners this weekend, for all of you paying attention, Bengals, obviously, Bills, Buccaneers, 49ers, Chiefs, and Rams. Now, Delilah, I'm going to go ahead and give you the first crack at this. I just a general impression of how you felt the weekend went in football this past week. These games, what were your impressions of this weekend?
Some games went the way I assumed they would go, right? Like the wins went in the direction that I thought so. Other ways, not so much. Like there were some teams I was hoping would make it, past that first round. Sure. Didn't happen. Like I was on a winning streak Saturday. I was 2 for 2. Then I was 3 for 3, and then those evening games screwed me. And then Monday I recovered. So I guess that's not too bad. So the majority of my picks came true. So I missed 2. But yeah, I know there's always tears, anger, and pain. That's what it says, right? You either win or you go home on the bus. And if you're at home,
you just go home.
You just go home. You're not moving on. But that's just how the playoffs work, right? Some people cry tears of joy, some tears of sadness. So
did you have a particular favorite game, or is there one game that really stood out to you this past weekend?
one of my favorite games really was that Bengals game. I know that wasn't as high scoring, as exciting as some of the other ones, but I thought that honestly for the matchup was well made. Like honestly, like Raiders were doing not awful, but just Bengals did better, right? They weren't, right? So it wasn't like they were blown out or anything. No. So like, but they played a good game, and just Bengals were better on both sides, right? They were better on defense. They were better. They capitalized on field goals and really good field position. But honestly, I just think they just look good. Look solid on both sides. Burrow didn't throw any picks. Everybody's talking about injuries, but he proved that he has other people, right? I know some people were upset that Mixon didn't get a touchdown, but he put them in good field positions multiple times. Jamar Chase had 116 yards, so he still had a monster game. He didn't get a TD. So again, he put them in good field position so that Uzuma and Boyd could get those touchdowns, right? And so they could kick those field goals. So honestly, I think they played a solid game of football. I think Burrow looks really good, and I think that if he continues to grow, I think he's looking like being one of our, future stellar QBs if he can keep, every year get better. So good game to me.
And I think that's what stuck out to me is that it just shows you the weapons that the Bengals do have. That you said, Jamar, their leading receiver didn't score a touchdown. Their leading back didn't score a touchdown. So that to me is amazing. So Anthony, my friend, we're going to come to you. What were your impressions of this past wild card weekend?
One of the things that I was always taught when I was playing football is you go ready to play every game. It doesn't matter whether you're playing the scrubs that you're going to beat or whether you're playing against the guys that are knocking everybody in the head. Mm-hmm. You show up every week to play, and football watching, there was some games where it was just obvious that the teams did not show up to play. I know there's some folks with some hurt feelings that are supporters of many teams, so we won't call any specific teams out. But the game of the weekend for me was definitely Bengals Raiders, because that was, a lot of back and forth between that. And I've been saying all season in the comments, because I've only been on the Roundtable like 2-3 times, but I've been saying all season long, Joe Burrow did not come to play with y'all this season. He said that, he got hurt last year. He came back this year. And with anybody, and everybody keeps going, and now he just keeps every week. He just keeps. It's almost like he's the Stetson Bennett of the NFL, except he's got a stronger arm and better decision making. I'll say it. Stetson is my guy, but he's a baller. The dude is playing with 9.5 fingers right now. Didn't he lose half a thumb or something like that 4 weeks ago?
Something like that, right?
That was the game of the weekend for me. The most impressive dominant performance for me was the Buffalo Bills. My God.
Sure.
Josh Allen was like, okay, y'all gonna collapse the pocket. Watch me run real quick.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, y'all gonna step back. Y'all gonna step back and give me 18 seconds. What was that one play? That one play he had almost 11 seconds to throw that tiptoe pass in the corner.
Yeah.
He just did. He could do no wrong this past weekend. So yeah, it was a good, some good games to watch. But those were my two picks. Those are the ones that stood out for me.
All right. So do you think that maybe Bill Belichick was kind of inhabiting the spirit of Denny Green a little bit after that game?
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Do we think that Bill feels like he let Buffalo off the hook this week, or what?
Buffalo was not on the hook. See, that's the thing. Buffalo wasn't on. It wasn't like Buffalo backed into the playoffs and the Patriots were heavily favored. They weren't on the hook. Oh, Josh Allen. I'm gonna go ahead and channel Janae. The Billies is ready to play. Come on, man. The Billies, Josh Allen, and he running, and the Billies. The Bills were ready. The Bills were ready. So
they are, my friend, that they are. But that brings me to kind of like overall, like what we saw this weekend. When you look at now the matchups for this week, are the Bills, and again, I have this kind of, I wanted to ask this question simply more, just to get everybody's opinion here, because let me tell you something. I liked what I saw from the Bills. And Sean and I kind of have been talking back and forth all year about how I was disappointed in the way the Bills played all year. And for them to come out and make a statement like that, and also, and I include the Bengals in this, and the reason why is because, again, towards the end of the season, Cincinnati fell off a little bit, lost a couple of games. Everybody was kind of like, okay, they didn't win the division. They came in the fourth seed, blah, 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 blah. So going into this weekend, you have an opportunity here, the Bills and the Bengals, to prove if, in fact, they are legit. Delilah, what sayeth you?
Well, with the Bills, they have a revenge game, right? Because last season, we all know Kansas City was the one that moved on, right?
Yes.
And so I think that for this, it's going to be one of those like do or die type things. I'm excited to really see this game because the Bills were the ones sent home last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't get to move on. And so this is great that they get to meet again, almost like serendipity, right? It's like, all right, let's see who's going to get, come out on top. Both quarterbacks balled out, both quarterbacks balled out. Their key players did what they were supposed to do, right? They put the yards up. They got the receiving, right? They got the touchdowns. Like, that's going to be a damn good game. That's going to be really great. I think that's going to be a really exciting game to watch. I'm excited for that one for sure.
For sure. Mr. Handy, what can I get your opinion on this little question here, my friend?
Yes. To be.
I know you're happy to be here. We know. Come on.
No, that wasn't where I was going with that.
You were going there. Okay, that's not.
I wasn't going there this time. I did that last time. Everything can't be coming to America. See?
Right,
there they go. Every time I open my mouth, they gotta start talking about coming to America.
Right. I agree with David Wright in the comments too. What about
David said, "Bills are the truth, but you can't quantify a team based on divisional matchups." Just
that is the truth.
Right.
Well, that is the truth.
Your words were never spoken, Mr. Wright. Thank you very much for commenting on that one, my friend.
Oh, I think that we let that one out the box a little sooner than we intended to, but okay.
We
were going to
win. But the roundtable has to be precise, right? Let's just get it done.
Yeah,
but we're talking football here, folks. Let's go.
Yeah, but to answer your question, yes, the Bills and the Bengals are both definitely legit. I think that the difference is that everybody expected the Bills to do something this year. They weren't sure what they were going to do, if they were going to bounce back from last year, but we expected that the Bills were going to be moderately good to good.
Right.
The Bengals were nobody. I mean, they thought maybe they might show some improvement
on
the table this year. So I think they're both legit. I'm even more stoked to see I was stoked for the matchups this past weekend. I'm more stoked for the matchups this coming weekend.
Yeah, I think the Bengals have a harder game though. And I'm not saying they can't win, but I feel like they have the harder matchup because I feel like Bills and Chiefs are equally matched, right? So I think with the Bengals, it's going to be harder for them, right? King Henry's supposed to be coming back. Ain't no way that man isn't going to play. I don't care what the coach is saying. I don't care what they're saying. There's no way in hell Derrick Henry isn't going to play in the playoffs. They literally have been saving him this whole year and just activated him. Ain't no way that man's not playing. So, it'll be interesting to see how they can cover him because I think that's going to be dangerous. He's going to come in hungry, right? Can the defense really stop him? So can they stop the run? Tannehill, he's got, again, he's pretty solid at QB. I think Burrow's better.
Right. Okay.
All day. I will agree with that 100%.
I think Burrow's a better quarterback. But Tannehill has key players. So I think that's gonna be the harder game to me. In my opinion, that's gonna be the harder matchup. And I think that's gonna be a harder game. That's definitely gonna be a harder game for the Bengals to get the W. And that will show us who they are. If somehow, right? And I'm rooting for them. If the Bengals beat the Titans, I think that we can, finally say,
Right.
Joey B and his crew,
have arrived.
right?
Oh, yeah,
So, but
most
we'll
definitely.
see.
Well, that's what excites me more for this weekend is I actually want to see that Bills-Bengals matchup playing for the AFC Championship game, which very possibly could happen.
Right.
Because again, as you
If they
said,
both
you
move on,
imagine?
right? If they both move on, yeah.
right. Yeah, well, no, I think that'd be phenomenal because again, now you have a situation where you're definitely going to have a different team playing in the Super Bowl in the AFC for one,
Right.
after the last couple of years of Kansas City dominance.
True.
But also, you're going to see two of the younger quarterbacks in the league go at it, which is what I'm really
That's
excited for. Jamar Chase to Joe Burrow, Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs, or what. So, really looking forward, hoping that kind of happens. Again, we'll get into that a little bit more later. But definitely just, with this weekend, with the way those two teams performed,
Absolutely.
I just thought that was something I'd like to ask you guys.
I know Henry isn't official, but you really think that Henry's not going to play in this divisional game?
He'll play, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be 100. Again, he's been out for a while.
Right.
And it's a hell of a game to come back to wear off your ring rust. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, for sure.
It's a divisional game where if you lose, you're going home. So, yeah, it's a hell of a game to come back to. But I do believe you're right. I mean, Henry will play probably, and we'll see just how rested and how ready to go he is.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments, and I'm just trying to track. Sorry, guys.
No, I know. Sorry, guys. I'm new at this, so I'm trying to get everything in order, and I got the comments going, and, David's probably fighting with Sydney right about now or something. So, I'm trying to figure out what's
everything's
going on
pretty cool.
We
calm, actually.
Nah, the chat, yeah.
Is the chat okay right now? I haven't checked it. Okay. Sorry. Wendy, thank you. Wendy says Bengals will beat the Bills. Look at that. Wendy making a bold prediction.
So then she thinks they'll be in the AFC? Right. Okay. So they'll be in the AFC.
Probably hoping the Packers play the Bengals in the Super Bowl then, right, Wendy? Is that it?
Dude, but let's just think about that for a minute. Could you see this? I mean, the stories that would come out of that.
Sure.
If the Bengals managed to make it to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow last year looking like he was going to need at least a year to wear off the ring rust, as you like to say. And God, that what a hell of a story that would be.
Right. Sid and I both lost. We have declared a ceasefire
apparently between David and Sid. So you guys are hilarious. We love you.
Right,
guys.
Right.
So along that lines, and David's not going to like me anymore after this next segment.
Let me put my drink down because
I don't want you to spit your drink out while while I say this. But so a little thing happened this weekend in one of the games that, again, people focused on and everything. I mean, I'm going to get your guys' opinion on this, but Dallas kind of fell apart at the end there, folks. And again, I'm not just trying to pour salt in the wound here, but this is one of those things where mistakes that you make during an important game really come back to haunt you. With all the penalties that Dallas had in this for the 14 and just the bad time management and everything, guys, what were you thinking when you saw Dak Prescott take off and run in the middle of the field with 14 seconds left in the game? Mr. Handy, we'll let you go first this time.
Now listen, I know we try to keep 4-letter and larger words to a minimum on this show, yes, but you were talking about you ain't trying to pour no salt. You a damn lie.
What are you suggesting, sir?
You are all up in it like the Morton Salt Girl. You like Salt Bay. Skip Bayless, you are sitting there seasoning this thing like a pot roast at grandma's kitchen on Thanksgiving Sunday. I don't even want to hear. No, let me stop.
Wait a minute.
No, this is more of hearing from the people. It's not really us bashing. Like, it's more like, let's hear.
As a matter of fact, I'm a little offended. You would think that I would stoop to such levels on a program such as this. Where we give our opinions every week, that I would come in here and want to just pour salt. As a matter of fact, look, you want to see a man. Why would I want to compound that anymore by talking about this? Come on.
Why you want to show that video of Skip Bayless looking like an albino basset hound sitting there mad because he can't have a bacon strip?
There you go. Well, that was a very descriptive way to put that. Thank you.
I'm right on the head. Right on the money. Anyway, to answer your question, when Dak took off running, I thought he was just going to get past the marker and get down and then clock the ball. Yeah. And then he kept going.
Yeah. That he did.
I said maybe the field is open, and then I saw tacklers, and I was like, "Oh, this is not going to end good. This is not going to end good." And sure enough, there it was. You know, then you got the referee coming in and doing and pretending like he was in a disco because he was booty bumping everybody out of the way to get the ball. I got nothing. Even my wife was looking at the TV like this.
Well, like, yeah, she couldn't believe it either, huh?
Yeah, no, not at all. But because you know, I would be halfway want to say San Francisco actually kind of mapped that out. They were like, hey, they're going to go sideline to sideline. We'll give them a couple, and then we'll bunch them up in the middle because Dak hadn't really done nothing, and they had kind of shut Pollard down. And the only other option, which they hadn't considered, was Dak running the ball. And even then, if they take off running, let them run because the clock's going to run out. And that's exactly what happened. I would not be surprised if that was exactly the game plan for the 49ers.
All right, well, Delilah, given that at first it looked like that San Francisco was definitely giving up the sideline, that Dallas was able to get that far in that short amount of time, what was your thoughts going into that last play with 14 seconds left?
I thought in the answer to that, just as it started off looking good, right? It just started off to look so good there. And so there was a second where I thought, oh, maybe they'll get the touchdown and actually win, because if they scored, it would have been 24-23 done. Right, just based on based on what they had. You
have to wait for Zerline to kick the extra point, which is always an experiment. So yeah.
Hey, he was actually on this night, so he was. So he was accurate.
I'm just saying that true.
He was accurate. So all I'm saying is, like, either they tie or they win it, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought they had a chance. I mean, I saw people were on their feet. We're like, okay, maybe. And then it's just that 14 seconds, I know they wish they could take back, because even I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what's going on? And so I agree with David Wright. I don't think we can blame the refs on that, even with the booty bumping and stuff. I actually do agree with him, because I honestly feel like they had a play in their mind and it just wasn't executed properly, right? Like, you could see kind of what they were going for, and it just was not done correctly. I don't know if they lost track of time, right? Like, I honestly, I'm like, did they realize that they only have 14 seconds? Like,
right.
I mean, everybody got up surprised, right? We were like, wait a minute, was the game over? Nobody could believe the game was over, right? Because we're like, wait a minute, did this just end this way?
Right, did it just end this way, like a playoff game?
Yeah, and so I don't know. It was just, I honestly couldn't believe.
But see, this
go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, you're not. It's fine. I honestly don't know what's in their minds, what they were actually trying to get done with those last 14 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you brought up something. You touched on something. The number 14. They had. I'm not going to do what Sean did last night, but Dallas had 14 seconds to execute a play.
Right.
And that was enough time to knock out at least 2 more plays to get close enough to maybe make at least 1 more play to get a Hail Mary into the end zone.
Yeah.
But like you said, Delilah, you can't blame it on that last play.
No.
There was some other factors in there. There was how many? Refresh my memory. How many penalties did they commit?
14. 14. They tied. They tied for the worst.
That number
in a postseason.
14 penalties, 14 seconds. That's what they should call the 30 for 30 about this season. The 14 for 14.
14 for 14.
They should call it. We cutting 16 minutes off of it. It's a 14 for 14. But there were too many penalties. They couldn't run the ball. The bad execution. I'm not dogging your team, Cowboys fans. Please don't come for me. I'm gonna come back. I'm coming back to Skip. I'm coming back to Skip in a minute. But Dallas just could not execute, and then it was like all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, with this little bit of time, if we lose, we got to go home. So everything that happened in the 59 minutes and 46 seconds before them 14 seconds, you can't blame that game on those last 14 seconds.
No.
I definitely have to say that.
Well, see, that's my whole thing is that Dallas shot themselves in the foot so much in this game. And what have I talked about before and argued about with people in different things? You can't put yourself in a position where the refs are going to cost you the game. And sure enough, that's exactly what Dallas did. And you let, again, if the rule is, that the umpire has to touch the ball, why are you giving the ball to your lineman? Give the ball to the umpire, let him set it. I'm just saying, like, if, I know it's heat of the moment, so I don't want to blame Dak for that one per se. But I mean, those are things you need to be aware of. Like, you've got to know how much time is on the clock.
Oh, come on. He can't play crazy though. He can't play crazy like he didn't know that. That's almost like Donovan McNabb saying, "I didn't know the game could end in the time." You've been playing football all your you've been playing football all your life. The ref has got to touch the ball.
Exactly.
Dak's been playing football since he's 5. Dak's like what? Dak's like what? 29 now. So you've been playing football over 2 decades. You don't know to get the ball to the referee. Let him. Hey, here, put it down. We trying to go like something.
Right? Did we learn
they messed up
from Chase Claypool, Mickey Rose, and the guy?
They messed up. I don't. They messed up. McCarthy.
Not playing.
McCarthy messed up. Dak messed up. Because
that's the other thing now.
49ers had them in this game. There was literally, they were only down by a touchdown or 2 each time. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like it was unattainable for them to win. Right. And in my opinion, Dallas lost that game, to be honest, because the 49ers, like even Jimmy G gave up a pick, right? And so it's like they had every opportunity to win. Like, if anybody was watching, it wasn't like the 49ers were like stellar. You know what I mean? Like, Debo did Debo stuff, right? We're not surprised.
Right.
We knew he was going to do his stuff, right? And so it's not like, they didn't give Dallas every chance to win, and they just couldn't capitalize.
No, I'm with you. Delilah. That's pretty much right. And again, Handy, last thing, what was your comment about Skip Bayless before I move on here?
Go ahead, Anthony.
I just listen. I knew Fingers called me. He said that y'all was gonna be on today, and I'm gonna try and keep my comments short. And I was enjoying the show until you showed that video clip. I just want y'all to understand, when I, as a poor boy growing up in Georgia, my goal was not to make it to the league. No, my brother was already in the league. We were set. We was good for life. My goal in life was to one day be able to embarrass one of my coworkers. And I have never been able to embarrass my coworker more than ever than yesterday morning when I had to sat across that table from Skip Bayless and bring him a plate full of hot flaming L straight from.
Yes.
The missus just dropped them off. Skip, I got the remedy for your sniffles. It'll get you, it'll kill the sniffles. My grandmama say it might even kill COVID. So come on down, see your boy Shay Shay. We get you. I got your hot L's right here for you. That's all I got.
Well, we want to thank Shannon Sharp for that brief appearance. Thank you, Shannon, for giving your 2 cents on the old Skip Bayless video.
We always enjoy that.
Let us definitely move on. Competing on the Dallas fans and all.
How many is that? That's 2. I got 3 more.
That's 3 more. Right? All right. Now, we also saw over the weekend Matthew Stafford finally gets a playoff win, guys. The Los Angeles Rams took care of those Arizona Cardinals in the Monday night game.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the time? Has Matthew Stafford, I was waiting for the Georgia hat to come out, we all know Matthew went to Georgia.
We know.
Has Stafford gotten over his playoff woes? Delilah, what saith you?
I'm so happy for him. And I say that as someone who watched him play with Detroit for so long. I can tell you that as a Bears fan, we never hated Matt Stafford. Like we kind of felt bad that he was playing for Detroit.
Right.
Because, we saw what he could do here, but it wasn't enough because of the, Detroit issues, like,
yeah, sure.
We brought up before, like he couldn't win a playoff game with Megatron, right? Think about that. And so like, I'm excited for him. He got his first playoff win because everybody's like, they confuse it. He did go to the playoffs with Detroit, but they didn't pass the first round.
They just never got anywhere, right?
This is the first time with this team that he actually won a playoff game in 13 years when he went in the first round. He's a first-round pick, QB, way back in the day, right? Detroit.
2009.
He went in the first round. So it wasn't, and so for 13 years later, for him to finally get this chance, I'm happy for him. I'm glad Cup got his TD in the postseason. Even OBJ got a TD and got paid. He got 500 grand. They gave him those incentives. Cash, right? So now he gets 500 grand because he caught a touchdown in the postseason.
Yep.
So I'm happy for him, and I hope he could go out and beat the GOAT. I'm telling you that now. If he could beat the GOAT, man, his time really has come. That's gonna be a hard game because I knew he was gonna beat Arizona. I told y'all he was gonna beat Arizona. And they beat them. They were like 21-0 for a while there, right? Anthony, I saw your video.
My God. Oh my God. Did y'all see that last night? Did y'all see that? Here's the thing. They came back from halftime, and I forgot which commentator it was. So we spoke with Cliff Kingsbury right before they came out, and we asked him what their plan was to win. He said, well, we don't have any 21-point plays, so we have to play like a 0-0. And I looked at the scoreboard like, 0-0. You play like a 0-0, you're gonna lose.
Right? I saw your video.
And then they turned around and scored another touchdown, and it was 28-0. And I'm like, well, I guess you got to play like a 0-7 now.
Oh man. But yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, I don't know if his playoff woes are over, but he got past one hurdle, right?
Yeah.
Like you can only take one game at a time. I feel like they actually have to go play in Tampa, right? And Tampa is missing some key players, but they showed that they can regroup though. So again, you're right. Tampa is missing some key players, but they also showed that, regardless they're missing people, and that comes down to coaching. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So that they're able to move pieces around and still get W's. So I'm excited for that game too. I want to see how Matthew can, stack up to the GOAT. And if he could beat Tampa and move on to that conference championship, man, has his time come. Right? It's like finally. But the woes, one more step. Can't quite say woes are over yet. He's got a big hurdle. You're
not going to crown him yet?
No.
Oh,
can't. Not yet. I can't.
I'm not going to give you the dentist screen? Okay, never mind.
He's got a bigger game.
Because, I've been picking, I've liked Matthew Stafford. When I heard the trade about going to the Rams, I thought, man, this kid finally gets an opportunity to have some weapons around him, to have a defense around him, to have a chance to actually do something. And so I'm actually, as I pretty much have said, I'm picking the Rams to win the NFC, and I'm going to ride with them. I mean, I really think I'm glad they got the win. You get the monkey off your back, as the proverbial saying goes, and now you go on to the next round. You face, the defending Super Bowl champions. But as you said, Delilah, you get them with some injuries, and you never know. It's one of those things. Like, hopefully that he has moved forward. Mr. Handy, Mr. Impression, do you have anything else that you'd like to add on the Matthew Stafford conversation, my friend?
Well, I got a chance to see Matthew Stafford play when he was in college at, what was that school again? I forgot what the name of the school was.
That's some SEC school. Conference, Vanderbilt or
some
something.
School. You better watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth. Shannon Sharper come back out.
Old Miss, where'd he go?
Oh man, watch out, Nick.
Oh man. Boy, I'm trying to. Is that what we doing today? Is that you telling me that's what we want to do today? Is that we doing this? Huh? We doing this? Is that what we doing? That's a bad impersonation. I'm working on a Denzel. I'm getting there. Anyway, I got a chance to watch him play from the sidelines while he was at University of Georgia. I rooted for the boy when he got drafted by the Lions. I didn't think the Lions would be any better, but I knew that he was going to ball out while he was there, and he definitely did.
Right.
Just for a frame of record, when you talk about him beating the GOAT, the last quarterback to defeat the University of Alabama prior to Stetson Bennett 8 days ago was Matthew Stafford.
Oh, well, there you go.
And we're talking about during the Saban dynasty, Matthew Stafford was the only quarterback. So if Matt Stafford can beat Nick Saban, Matt Stafford can beat Tom Brady. We're talking about a kid, you saw it with the shoulder dislocation, came back in and led his team back to a game winning.
I remember that.
In his rookie season.
Yeah, he came back in.
And by the by, Matt Stafford not the only dog on the roster. He's got Sony Michel in that backfield. So, but anyway, I digress. I think that I can't say that he's gotten all the way over him, but sometimes you just got to get over that one hump. And once you get over that one hump, and you go, I can do this. Especially since he's now got all these weapons around him. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of, and the way that Rams defense played. If the Rams go to Raymond James Stadium on when is the game? Saturday, Sunday?
They got oh crap! You caught me off guard there with that one. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot who's got the Saturday is 49ers, Packers, and I believe the Bengals have the game on Saturday as well. Yeah. So
okay.
Bengals, yeah.
If the Rams go to Raymond James Stadium, and play like Sunday, they played last night,
Sunday. There you go.
If they play like they played last night,
yeah.
Oh, that defense was so nasty last night. When they forced Kyler Murray, just was like catch.
Right.
I mean, they made Kyler Murray look. I've never seen Kyler Murray look so disoriented as a quarterback of the Cardinals ever.
Right.
I mean, they
definitely looked out of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he can't get the W. I'm just saying it's a harder game, right?
No,
that's all I'm saying. And I'm rooting for them. Like, I picked the Rams to win, but again, it's just not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be an easy win. Their defense is the one that needs to step up because we've seen it before. If you really shake up as much, like the whole game, if you're unrelenting in your pursuit of Tom Brady, he makes mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You have to be unrelenting. You have to beat him at the clock, right? Yeah. You can't give him no time whatsoever. You have to beat him at the clock, and you have to outscore him. See, that's the thing. You have to, in order to get the W, you have to outscore him, and by a lot, right? And he's had comebacks before, so that's what I'm saying. So that's all I meant. I'm not saying that he can't get the W. I'm riding with the Rams, making past the divisional round. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be a harder game.
Oh, that's absolutely. All. But I mean,
I agree, Nathan. Blitz Tom Brady. That's what I'm saying. If you get him all day, all game.
You get in his face. And sorry, Kate. I know you probably watching. I'm sorry. I know that's your second boyfriend, but
your second boyfriend.
Your second boyfriend, because she's got some
he's
guys.
Number one.
He's number one on the list. He's number one on the list. Okay, right, he's number one on the list. My bad. Okay,
Kate will tell you herself that Tom Brady's number one. I'm sure that's not.
If you get in that man's face, he gets shook, and he does things like smash tablets on the sidelines and things like that. So, yeah, I'm excited. That game is the one that I'm most excited for this coming weekend. And I think if there's anybody in the NFC that can get it done, I think, and Wendy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this. I think that if it was a choice between Green, LA will get it done because we know Mr. Big Toe's history in the conference championships. But I didn't say that out loud.
You're not gonna. You didn't say that out loud. As you just said, you're saying.
Who put I'm leaving this Let's Talk Football family? Was that Kate?
I saw that.
Alexi's Facebook user. I'm sorry.
I didn't see that no.
Kate, if that is you, unlike other people, I don't hate Tom Brady. I'm just rooting for Matt Stafford, man. Exactly. I really am.
Kate, sorry, guys. We all know Kate when it comes to Tom Brady, a little sensitive. Can't talk about Tom in a bad way.
Well, let's be real though. Let's be real. She's not just jumping on the bandwagon. He's a Michigan boy.
I know, and I think people don't realize that. Yeah.
We're not making fun of her fandom. We're just saying when Kate's going to defend Tommy to the end. You should know that going in. There's no argument. But we want to move on here, folks, to what Sean Spencer likes to call the longest running segment on the Let's Talk Football Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you as always the informative and always one of my favorite parts of the show, Diversity with Delilah. Wait, come on. Hit that. Hey. Oh, there it is.
You got to put that point in.
I will let Delilah go ahead and explain who she is.
All right.
We got 4 names there, so there's a lot to get through here, folks. So, let's do that.
All right. So basically, I am actually talking today about the 4 men who actually reintegrated the NFL after Fritz Poehler did it back in the 1920s. But as we know, like with the NFL and all the shakeup later in the 1940s, they basically kept out black NFL players, right? So when they kind of regrouped and had all their new kind of NFL teams, black players were not on any of those teams. And so in 1946, these 4 men are the one that reintegrated the NFL. And so basically, despite the sorry.
Okay.
They actually integrated in 1946, which was a year before Jackie Robinson smashed the professional baseball colors barrier, right? We all something with history, often a lot of things happen in pairs, right? It doesn't all happen in a vacuum. A lot of things start happening, and so you start seeing a lot of kind of similar social justice issues and a lot of kind of the same things happening, kind of different aspects. And so these 4 men went in 1946. Again, this was the year before Jackie Robinson did his thing. So we have Kenny Washington and Woody Strode, who reintegrated the Los Angeles Rams, because people forget they really were in Los Angeles before. Before they moved around.
That was their initial spot, right?
Yeah. So they basically reintegrated the Los Angeles Rams. Washington led the nation in scoring in 1939, playing 580 out of 600 minutes for the Bruins en route to becoming first All-American UCLA player, right? So he was playing at UCLA. Despite his obvious athletic prowess, there was no place for him for Washington at the professional level. At the time, the league was still in the midst of its 12-year ban on African-American players steered into place by, no surprise, the Washington football team's owner at the time, George Preston Marshall. So in 1933, he's the one who really was the one that forced all the other NFL teams at the time to a gentleman's agreement, which would ban black players from playing in the NFL. And then here we go, 1946. After signing with the Los Angeles Rams, Washington had 3 solid NFL seasons, with highlights including a 7.4 rushing yards per attempt. He still holds a 92-yard running record for the Rams. Washington's UCLA teammate Woody Strode also signed with the Rams in 1946. After his first season alongside Washington at the Rams, Strode decided to pursue other career paths. He said it was just too much pressure, citing issues such as lack of playing time and constant racial abuse as a contributing factor to his quick departure. He was quoted once by a reporter in 1971 saying, "If I have to integrate heaven, I don't want to go." Right?
Wow,
because basically, it's not like they walked in there, reintegrated, and everything was hunky-dory, right? Obviously not, right? So as 2 black players on that team, for him, it was just too much, and he just didn't want to pursue it as long as his other teammate did. So he decided to move into other careers. He actually did really well in a professional acting. So he was in the 10 Commandments, in Spartacus. So I guess he made the proper career choice in his mind, because he actually did well in Hollywood. So, but again, he was just part of one of the men that helped reintegrate the NFL. That's why he doesn't have as much stats. But again, he should get credit for being one of those 2 men on the Rams. And again, for a man to say something like that, like if he has to integrate heaven, I don't want to go, that tells you what he went through, right? As a black player on the NFL in 1946. Our next 2 are Bill Willis and Marion Motley. They played for the Cleveland Browns. After an All-American career at the Ohio State University, Bill Willis joined the newly formed Cleveland Browns of the All-America football team. People remember that the NFL was split, right? Like before, like it was
the NFL and the AFL.
Yeah, you guys kind of remember. So kind of, yeah. So anyway, so he played for the Cleveland Browns, who at that time were the All-America Football Conference. He was playing both guard and middle. He was 210 pounds, defensive star, was extremely quick and light on his feet. So imagine a 210-pound man, but he was quick and light on his feet. We know that's hard to do when you're a big guy, so when you could move like that, good things happen. He played 8 seasons and appeared in 3 NFL Pro Bowls, anchoring the team's defense as the Browns dominated their conference at that time. Alongside him was Mary Motley. He joined the Cleveland Browns again, same year, 1946. Played fullback and linebacker. Motley demanded respect on and off the field with his focus on game performance. Although Motley's addition to the team was initially to provide to be a roommate for Willis, because God forbid, right? They might have reintegrated the team, but we know how things were back in the day.
Yes.
Right, separate quarters, unfortunately. Anywho, so in addition to TV, Motley finished his 4-year career with 3,024 yards, a 6.2 yards per attempt, and an average of 26 touchdowns. So even though he was initially brought in just to be a roommate, he actually produced, right, at 26 touchdowns, over 3,000 yards in his 4-year career. Basically, unpleasant racially charged moments were not foreign. Willis shared in the game that was, because a lot of these players, they have biographies, autobiographies, and memoirs. Willis was quoted as saying, "I soon won the respect of my opponents. They learned that I could take it and dish it out. And I didn't really have to play dirty ball to hold my own. Speed was my greatest asset, but I could unleash a pretty solid forearm block and a rather devastating tackle. They found out that while they were calling us N-words and alligator bait, I was running for touchdowns, and Willis was knocking the shit out of them." I'm quoting him.
No, of course.
So they stopped calling us names and started trying to catch up with us, right? So you got to beat them at their own game. They're like, all right, you can take all this smack, but meanwhile, I'm going around you, right? I'm getting all these touchdowns, and my teammate over here is beating the shit about all of y'all, right? So again, these two men helped reintegrate the NFL. Both Motley and Willis were elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1968 and 1977, respectively. I have to give credit on this information to the NFL Players Association, because they do a lot of great job at making sure that we go back and remember people that might have been lost to history. Because these are 4 names that people didn't really know about, not unless you're like really a football historian. Right. And they said that in kind of one of the intros, is like, everybody knows who Jackie Robinson is, right? But no one knew that these 4 men came in and actually broke down the color barrier and reintegrated the NFL. But I love that quote. I like when people say stuff like that, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
And so it's like, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? And but that is your Diversity with Delilah for the week. These are the 4 men. Remember their names. They reintegrated the NFL, put up with a lot of BS. But someone always has to go first, right? So these are the guys.
All right. Well, thank you, Delilah, as always. I enjoyed that. I appreciate, again, the longest running segment here on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. You can see it every week that we are on, because Delilah always has something fun and good to say. So thank you. So to that end, real quick, normally at this time during the show, for those of you who watch regularly, we would be going to Nick's picks. Now, I did go 2-2 last week, for those who care. So again, keeping true to my pretty much average of 500 that I had going for most of the year. But there's only 4 games this week, so I haven't exactly gotten to all of that yet. So again, if you want to hear what I have to say about this weekend, I will have a video up by tomorrow giving you the picks for the weekend, and I can go 500 again if you want to follow me. So anyway, real quick,
thank you, guys. Thank you, David, and thank you, Facebook user.
That's Kate.
Sorry.
That's Kate.
Right.
Oh, is it? I can't see it on my end.
Yeah, it does say Facebook user. I can't either, so I feel bad. Also, real quick, just before we move on to the last segments of the show, I always enjoy, I like promotion, right? I like to promote things. So one of the things we have going on also, guys, as part of the Let's Talk family, is the Ladies Takeover Thursday night at 6:30 Eastern. Of course, we all are familiar with that, right? We have Delilah Crespo, Janae Struther, Ash Swinton, and of course, the aforementioned girlfriend to Tom Brady, Katie Alyssa. So thank you, guys, ladies, because you're doing a phenomenal job. We want to promote that as well. Mr. Handy. How
Sir,
about
yes,
you,
sir.
my friend? Now that the college football season is over, we don't look forward to SEC football this week. But what do you got going on this week? You got anything?
Well, actually, we will be on tonight. We're
Oh,
going
you
to
will?
talk. We're going to talk about what's going on, and we're coming on right after this.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about what's going on in the transfer portal, who's leaving for the draft. Colin and I, we're stoked. We're going to try and keep it going as long as there's news going, as
Okay.
long as people want to hear what's going on. We
Sure.
probably see it going maybe another month or so, and then we'll probably take a hiatus until a couple of weeks before the spring game, because it's pretty much after the combine. All of the recruits are on campus and getting conditioned and ready to go. And I mean, God, you think about it, man. The spring game, I think, is like late April, early May. These guys just finished the season.
Yeah.
So they're just going to have a brief respite, finish up their classes, and they're
Get going,
boom.
baby. Yeah.
To keep this thing going, we'll be on after. So
okay, awesome. So catch that, guys, wherever you can. Look up Mr. Handy.
This week in SEC football, we will be available on Facebook tonight and on YouTube. And oh, by the way, speaking of that, Nick, I need to jump in here. Hey guys, if you're here watching us today, here on Facebook, on YouTube, I'm not a normal cast member, but if you're watching, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Costs you absolutely nothing, and it takes you 2 seconds, because every like, every subscribe you give to the YouTube channel, every like you give to the video, it helps to boost the algorithms, and it starts becoming a suggested watch for people. Hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most of all, share it with your people. When we pop on, hit the share button and spread it everywhere you can possibly spread it. So we want to help this brand grow. Now that's all I got.
We appreciate that. Thank you, sir, for that public service announcement. We do appreciate that. Real quick, I want to get into something before we get into the last segment of the show. Coaching changes. As we all know, there's 8 openings as of right now, and interviews are going on, and things are happening. For you guys, I'm just real quick. Who do you think deserves a head coaching job of all with the 8 openings currently, and what team do you think they should go to? Anthony, we'll start with you first, my friend.
I want to know why the hell Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a head coaching job yet. Period.
Yep.
I keep hearing, like, I've heard a bunch of people say how Kellen Moore would be a great head coach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. and we saw Dallas fans. Sorry, we saw what happened on Sunday. You saw it with your own eyes. I'm trying to keep Stephen A. Smith in because he's trying to come out.
Oh, is he trying to come out? There you go.
But I got to do the Stephen A. Smith. I had to do this with me, so I cover my hairline. Just put it back here. What grown man? Side note, what grown man anybody in here, black men, do any of y'all go to the barbershop and get your hair cut across the top of your head like this? What the hell is that all about? And why he got that baby caterpillar? Like he got the Stephen A. Smith. It's not even a real mustache. It's like the auntie whose hormones stopped coming in when she was like 30. By the time she's 50, she got the 1950s gangster mustache coming in, like Eddie Murphy or Harlem Nights. You got to get that straightened out, Stephen Smith. You got to get that straightened out. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
All right, we're moving on. Delilah, can you
seriously? Enemy.
Eric Bieniemy, I would tend to agree with that, but go ahead, Delilah.
No, I mean, besides Eric Bieniemy definitely should have had a job a long time ago. He should have got a head coaching job last season when there were openings. And hopefully he gets one now, because boy, there are 9 positions available.
8 or 9 right now. Yeah,
there's like 9 plus. Yeah, so
still early in the process, but
it is early. Yeah, but now a lot of people are interviewing. I know he's interviewed already, right? A few times, or with a few teams, or one team. I definitely want to see Brian Flores. For sure, get a gig again. I think he was fired too quickly, in my opinion. And so both of those two men, I think, deserve a head coaching position, and whichever team gets them, they'll be happy to have them, because Eric Bieniemy is a huge part of that coaching staff. It's a huge part of those wins, and he deserves a chance to actually be a head coach. Be the head honcho. And I definitely want to see Brian Flores get another shot somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I actually, Byron Leftwich is one I think would be a great candidate for a head coaching job. I'm not hoping Byron, and again, it's one of those things where you sound, wouldn't it be great if Byron went back down to Jacksonville, got to work with Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback, and some of that offense with, Travis Etienne being healthy for next year and kind of running it'd just be nice to see, wouldn't it? Byron Leverage go back to Jacksonville, turn that team around a little bit. I think that'd be cool. Leslie Frazier, I also think, should get another chance at a coaching job. We'll see if Leslie ends up. I know he's probably interviewed a couple of places, but we'll see if it happens again for Leslie, if he gets another shot after what happened with the Vikings. But, this is something I thought we should touch on because, again, in the coming weeks, we'll definitely have more news about when the actual changes are made and when hires are made, and we'll be able to discuss that a little bit further. So with that done, let's head on to our last segment for our show this week. Of course, the games that are coming up this weekend. We got 4 contests in the old AFC and NFC divisional rounds, as they call them. So we will take each game separately, and I will go around to my esteemed panel here and get their opinion on these games. So first off, Chiefs versus Bills. Delilah, give me what you got.
Chiefs, Bills. I'm going with the Bills.
Okay. Anything particular stand out for you, or anything you think you're looking for in this game?
Yeah, I'm looking for that Buffalo defense that we saw against the Patriots step up and do the same. We know that Mahomes can get picked off, right? We know that. We know he could throw interceptions. He did all season, and I know things change the postseason. But when you have a good defense like Buffalo, they could definitely get those picks. And so, I think that's going to be key to the win. So let's go Bills.
All right, and
I did see that, Sydney, and I hope Hines does get a coaching job. Sorry, I just saw his comment.
Hines Ward. No, yep, I got you. Hines Ward probably wouldn't be a bad one either. That's true. Very true, my friend.
Actually, Hines Ward. Actually, I think UGA is kind of courting Hines Ward, because it would be as a wide receivers coach.
Okay. Look at that.
But don't have any substance to back that up yet. But that's the scuttlebutt right now.
No, I hear you. That's hey, that might not be. I mean, again, depends what Hines wants to do, right? Maybe college is the first step for him.
Yep.
Yep. All right, sorry, Anthony. Who do you got? Chiefs or Bills?
No. You're
the handyman. Give me your prediction for Bills Chiefs.
I think the Bills. I'm going to ride with Delilah on this one. I'm on this one. No disrespect to the Chiefs; they're a talented squad. They got they're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl win. They were in the conference championship last season. I see the Bills finally getting it done this year. I mean that what we saw this past weekend, if they can recreate that, it's all Bills all day.
Okay, I would tend to agree with you guys that I'm hoping the Bills win. I'm hoping Josh Allen has kind of gotten to the place where he needs to be, to really just zone in and just not make mistakes. Just get in there, like you said. Just go in there and destroy. Because believe me, with that offense, they're killer.
Pick the Chiefs. Pick the Chiefs. Unanimous picks are bad mojo. I've learned that from the past few shows. Unanimous choice picks.
As much as I would love to not curse anybody, Delilah, I'm still going to pick the Bills. I'm sorry. Right? That's funny though that you bring that up. Right?
That's like 3 on a. That's like lighting 3 on a match, man. Don't do that.
Don't curse the Bills. Don't pick them, Nick. Go somewhere else.
I agree with you, David. Right?
I
agree, David. Right? Bills D wins or loses that for sure.
Yeah, but they got to come out. They have to come out with that. They have to have that same energy.
Yeah. Oh.
You can't come out and feel Kansas City out because Patrick Mahomes will embarrass you.
Oh yeah, for sure. By the way, I don't know why I keep saying David Wright. Like it's just David. It's because there's 2 Davids in the group chat.
David Wright. David Wright is not always right, but that's okay.
I don't know why I keep saying his whole name, but anyway, David, I agree.
He'll get me later, but it's all right. But yeah, I agree. I think Bills can come out, and if, like you said, and especially if they come out the way they did this past weekend, whoo, doggy. That was something to see, and I'm telling you. And they
Jed Clampett.
All right, so we all unanimous on Chiefs Bills. Next game, Buccaneers and Rams. Mr. Handy, what you got?
I am going with the LA, not the San Diego Chargers Rams. Just a throwback to last night. I'm going with the Rams on this one again. Same energy, same thing with the Bills, same energy. Come out, Defense has got to get if that defense gets in Tom Brady's face. Kate, again, I'm sorry. Please don't leave the LTS family. We love you very much. If they get in Tom Brady's face, it's gonna be a wrap. I'm calling that one. So I'm going with the Rams on this one.
Okay. Miss Delilah, what do you say?
I'm going with Matty Stafford and Cooper Kupp and the boys. So I'm looking for the W to come from the Rams.
Cooper Kupp was nasty. Just get off me.
Well, I guess I'm going to curse the Rams now. All three of us are picking the Rams to win this weekend, it appears.
What's that? Take it back.
Yeah,
it's going to be Tampa.
Right. Delilah takes it back. She takes Tom Brady and Katie's boyfriend. But no, I mean, Buccaneers are a little injured. I mean, I get it. You know, when you have Tom Brady, you still have a shot. But I think you also want to look at this from a home, man. And the Rams, I think they're clicking at the right time. OBJ, I think, has also given them kind of a new little energy swag. You know, he scored a touchdown pretty much in every game he's been in so far. So you got to like what the Rams are doing. And real quickly here, we want to bring in our buddy, Nathan Snell, to join us. Nate Dogg, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, y'all?
Yes, sir.
We're doing great. We're glad you were able to join us in the end for our previews for this weekend. So real quickly, we'll go to you. We already went Chiefs Bills. What saith you? Are you going to break the curse for us? No.
I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills.
No, it's unanimous. All four of us picked the Bills. Okay, give me what you're looking for this weekend. Why the Bills?
Well, I think as many of you know, I have been staunch on Josh Allen. You know, he's the first in that class to get his money, and you know he's got to be the reason the Bills get to the Super Bowl. I just feel like I think they put it together. I think they showed it against New England. Even though I'm not too fond of him being the main rushing attack, I feel like they've got all the pieces to definitely win a championship.
Sure.
No disrespect to the Chiefs. I mean to the Chiefs.
No.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to keep it. My score is going to be 44-45. I think it's going to be that kind of a high scoring game.
Right? High scoring.
Both offenses are going to bring it, but Bills.
And how about Buccaneers?
Wrong T.
Oh, he put out the guarantee on us. Not
I just do that up there for Nate. That's all.
No, I hear you. And Buccaneers Rams, Nate. We just finished going over that one. What do you like there? Nate, you still with us? What happened to Nate? Did we lose him? Okay, well, I guess we lost Nate somehow. Nate, are you there? Okay, I guess we lost him. I'm not sure what happened. So we'll move on. Packers versus 49ers. Another matchup of, I think, for us Midwestern folks, you probably get tired of seeing the Packers playing in the old AFC Championship game, even though I will comment again how they're 1-4 in championship games with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. I have to go and pick, the Packers in this game. I will swallow my pride and put aside my bias towards Aaron Rodgers. Again, it's one of those situations where how do you bet against a guy who's had an MVP type year? He's got MVP type weapons in his in Devontae Adams. The defense is playing well. He gets his linemen back. It's really hard to pick against. I think in this situation at home, they're playing at Lambeau. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you can do anything that anything too weird here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers for this game with the 49ers. Mr. Handy, what do you say?
Like him or hate him, he's been the, depending on what side of the fence you're on, he's either been the most dominant or the second most dominant quarterback in the league this season, period. Yeah. Without question. And it's hard to bet against the Packers in Lambeau. So far, as long as it's not a conference championship, and that's not a knock. I'm just talking stat.
No, I
I'm talking stats. As long as it's not a conference championship, it is hard to beat the Packers in the postseason at Lambeau. So I'm going to have to go ahead and give Mr. Discount Double Check the thumbs up and go get him. I know a lot of people are rooting for there's a lot of people that are not from Green Bay that are rooting for the 49ers otherwise, but that's what I'm going with.
All right, sounds great. Delilah, how about you? What do you think? 49ers, Packers?
It's, I know that San Francisco has been his wrench. We know that. I don't know if you guys know that,
They've
but
lost the last 3 playoff games to them.
every time San Francisco and Green Bay meets, remember that comeback too? They couldn't believe it, like that comeback win.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I still think this time, fifth time, Jimmy G is not gonna outball Aaron Rodgers. I know there's Jimmy G fans out there, but even I know that there's no way he's gonna outplay Aaron Rodgers. Do I hope San Francisco pulls the upset? Sure, but I just don't see it. We know that's possible to beat Green Bay at Lambeau. Statistically it's small, but it happens and it has happened. But it's very rare, and I just don't think Jimmy G is that quarterback. I don't think he's that quarterback who can go toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers. I think that Green Bay's defense will shut down Debo. So I think their defense is pretty solid. It's not great, but it's pretty solid, and they're pretty good at covering who they need to cover, right, to get those W's. And so they'll definitely double or triple, make sure he's not open ever. So I think, it's gonna go to Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. This time, fifth time's a charm, right? And I think Green Bay is gonna get the W in this one for sure.
All right. So Nate, you're with us, my friend.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, now we got you. That's great. So let's go through this game first for you. 49ers, Packers, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Discount Double Check. There will be, I predict, 6 touchdowns combined.
Oh, really? Between who?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game.
You think it's going to? Okay, gotcha. All right.
I think it's going to be 6 touchdowns combined.
Like who, Jimmy? You think Jimmy's going to get 3 touchdowns?
Or
yes.
Packers 4, Jimmy 4, whatever.
What?
Wow, Delilah.
Hey, he's going for it.
I mean, hey, I hope he does. Hey,
Me too, actually. I'm actually all for this, but I would see what
let's give Jimmy Garoppolo some credit. I mean, but a couple mistakes he made against the Dallas Cowgirls.
Cowgirls, look at that.
He can be a reliable option, and I mean, let's think about it. Like somebody after this offseason is going to pick him up.
Yeah.
So
probably.
I mean, he's shown that he can lead your team to the playoffs. It's just, Jimmy G's going to be Jimmy G. So I think there's going to be a total of 6 touchdowns.
Okay. But you're picking the Packers to win, though?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear, but we're looking at 6 touchdowns. Real quick, Nate, you were cut off when we were talking Bucks Rams. Real quick, who do you got, Buccaneers Rams?
I'm going to go with Mr. TB12. I stick with my prediction. It's going to be Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, round 2 in the NFC Championship.
Okay.
Say what you guys want to say about Matthew Stafford. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's got to get, like I said with Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford has to be the reason the Rams win this game. I mean, he had a good game last night, but it all depends on how he performs. I mean, if the Rams lose this game, I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but Jared Goff won that trade. Because look, again, they invested the future. They invested pretty much everything, including the brake truck, for this guy, and he has to be the reason they win. But I'm going with TB12.
All right, so we got that pick in. So let's go then to our last game of the on our thing here, Bengals Titans, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. I'm pulling for my man Joe Burrow. Like I said, I've been talking about him and Chase for a while now, and again, I realize Derrick Henry may be on the comeback here. And of course, he's going to play if he's ready to, if he's healthy enough. So, the Titans, we know the big thing is their running game that sets up their pass. Tannehill's a game manager. So obviously, I think they're going to need to come out and run and establish their run right away if they're going to have a chance in this game. Because I just think the offense in terms of the passing game definitely benefits the Bengals. So I'm going to count on that. I'm going to count on Joe Burrow to have a big game. And even again, if Jamar Chase doesn't score a touchdown, you've got Azuma, you've got Mixon, you've got
T. Higgins.
Higgins, Boyd. There's plenty of weapons for Joe Burrow there if they decide they want to double team and triple team Jamar Chase. So I am going to take the Bengals in this one over the Titans. Mr. Handy, what say you, my friend? He sat up in his chair. This is going to be serious.
I'd like to thank everyone of us today.
No, Pastor Handy's not coming out. He got some stuff he want to say, but he saved that for later.
Okay.
But I think that young boy I think Joe Burrow. I did not like Joe Burrow when he was at LSU.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're a Georgia fan.
Right. Not because of his talent. The only reason I did not like him is because we could not beat that boy.
There you go. Right.
About every 2-3 years, you get somebody come through, whether they're a wide receiver or a running back or a quarterback, you get one of them quarterbacks about 5 to 7 years that you just cannot beat. Period. He's going to figure out a way if he got to dig down in his pinky toe, not the big toe like Aaron Rodgers, because that's the toe that goes bad on everybody. Aaron Rodgers ain't nothing new. He just caught the Julio Jones from 2 seasons ago. Anyway, I said that out loud, and he played for Atlanta. Love you, Julio.
There you go.
Dig down in his pinky toe and dig it up from his pinky toe. Is that dude? And until he shows me otherwise.
Right.
I'm riding with Joey, as Kate calls him, Joey B. I'm riding with the 6-member NSYNC all the way to the Super Bowl. It's gonna be May.
There you go. All right, now,
okay,
Miss Delilah, what sayeth you after that impressive little 3-minute rant that Anthony just went on?
Had to pull Britney Spears out his back pocket.
There you go.
I'm going with Joey B. I think this game for sure. Jamar Chase gonna get a touchdown. No way. Like I get he didn't get that first round, but you got to get a TD in this divisional round. He'll find a way to get a touchdown. But yeah, I'm going with Joey B. Now I can't take him being the 6th member of NSYNC. I want to hear that every time. I mean, he does look like a boy bander. I mean, he does though, right? He's that young.
Okay. Well, he could be the unknown member of the Backstreet Boys. Is that better? I mean, I could put him in LFO. I put him in LFO.
Wow, you really going back to the boy band.
Stop reaching, bro. Yeah, stop reaching.
But no, I'm gonna go. I'm going with the Bengals. Yeah, it's like it's not that he's not taking it serious, and I don't think he's being cocky. He's just calm. You saw those he was wearing rose-colored glasses at his press conference, right?
Right.
And he just gave me he reminds me, because I did watch that LSU game. That's the vibe he's giving me. You know what I'm saying? Like that vibe, like after he won, smoking the stogie kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's the vibe he's giving me. So let's go. Let's get the W. Go Bengals.
All right, Bengals it is. Mr. Nate, what sayeth you on this subject?
Tennessee Titans in overtime.
Oh, we got an overtime game prediction here.
Okay.
Here we go. This ought to be good.
Yeah, I like the Bengals. My only thing is the injuries are starting to creep up with the Bengals. They just lost a defensive tackle for the season, and then Hendrickson.
Yeah, that is true.
And then, man, the only thing is I just am not a fan of the fact that you got he's the guy that's been sacked the most. And Joe Burrow. I mean, don't get me wrong. That offense is what you see on Madden, but
yes,
man, I can't take away anything from Tennessee Titans. As someone whose team has faced them twice, they won't go down. They're not going to go down without swinging. They got a low-key a good defense. And let's give the Tennessee Titans credit. They've gotten this far without Mr. King Henry. They're finding other ways to win, and I think Ryan Tannehill is going to show up. I think it's going to be 35-32.
Okay, so we got predictions for overtime. I think Anthony likes it. He's over there dancing and stuff. What's he doing? He's
35,
practicing.
No,
32. I like these numbers.
I'm showing Joey B that love. That's
I was
all.
going to say right.
I like these numbers. Like the other one was like what 44, 45 was.
Oh yeah, no, Nate's going for it all. He's going
32,
for the high
35.
scoring, overtime, right? Field goal, right? All that good stuff.
All right.
Well, there you go, folks. There's our predictions for this weekend. Whether you agree or disagree, I hope at the very least you were entertained by all of that, because I certainly was. But so we're going to go to our closing segment, as it were, the thing we refer to normally as one last word. Oh, wait, I screwed up. See, I got through the whole show, Sean. I had it all going, and I missed this.
One last word. Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
buddy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you got to put that on there. Yeah, buddy.
yeah, buddy. You got to forget that. Well, shout out to Sean Spencer, who I hope his bunion is healing up nicely. I was able to take over this week as host of the show. But here we go. Like I said, we always want to give in our last word. It's been a great show. Well, go ahead. We'll just go in order. Anthony, give us your last word, boss.
Oh man, we've been saying this. We've been saying this a lot. But just make sure that you let the folks that you love, let them know you love them. I've been saying this endlessly. We are now, Nate, what year is it? Our junior year? Is that what you said?
Yeah, junior year of the pandemic.
Junior COVID, right? Yeah.
We're in our junior year of the pandemic, and we're still losing folks.
Unfortunately.
My first wife and I are not together anymore. We're still very cordial, very, very cordial to each other. We always get together when we're all in close proximity. She's the mother of my two oldest sons. She lost her mother the other day.
Oh, sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Not to COVID, but she lost her mother.
I'm sorry.
I did, but just tell the people that why you got them. Appreciate it, because you never ever know. You could lay down in bed next to somebody one night and wake up and they be gone the next morning. And just let the folks know that you have in your life that you love them, that you appreciate them, because you never know when that last moment might be that last. You never know when it might be your last moment, because the last thing I want to do is close my eyes and not wake up tomorrow and leave here and my wife have to question, well, did he love me or not? Or have my kids question, did dad love us? Like, I don't want anybody to ever have that question in the back of their brain that, if I leave here tomorrow. So let your people know that you love them, that you appreciate them, and that they are, that they mean everything to you. And I hope that one of y'all is going to bring us back up, because I did not mean to bring.
That's quite all right, man. It's just, as you know, this segment has always been whatever's on your mind or your heart. We appreciate you sharing that. Delilah, what do you have for your last word?
I just want to say I'm sorry. My condolences to you and your kids and all your loved ones.
And I got to jump in before you go. David Wright, yes, that means you had to be nice to Dak. I did it. You got me doing it now, calling him by his full government. Go ahead, Delilah. I'm sorry.
Sorry, that was funny. I guess we needed that, right?
Always need some comic relief. Go ahead, Delilah.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, what I wanted to say is, one of the reasons why I went with my DWD is because, this past weekend was Martin Luther King Jr.'s weekend, right? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
So I just wanted to so one of the reasons for that was to kind of, all the color barriers, things like that. And so when we talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I just want to remind people that he was martyred for his beliefs, right? And I just want to make sure that at least when you're out there quoting MLK, make sure you actually understand who he was, because I see too much false flagging out there, right? I see too many people putting words out there and they have no idea what he actually stood for. They never read the whole speech, all his speeches, or even watched all of his speeches, you know, and they pull out just these sound bites, but it's like, you know, he was arrested over 20 times. He was the most hated man in America at that time. And he was literally fighting for voting rights and rights for his people, and to be treated equally, right? Equity. And so I just want to make sure that if, you know, there's resources out there, right? Just kind of understand the whole facet of that man and who he was. The fact that his wife, rest in peace, Coretta Scott King, was a big reason why we have MLK Day. Actually, she fought hard for it to be recognized. Fun fact, Chicago was one of the first places to actually have a holiday because it was not a national holiday. They got pushback. And so I just want to make sure that if you're out there quoting folks, actually make sure you study the full figure of that man. If you don't want to read, because reading is hard, all his speeches are available. He gave a lot of them in public. So if reading is
on YouTube.
fundamental, okay?
Right.
If reading is fundamental for you, you can't get through reading. At least go on YouTube and listen to his actual speeches and learn something. Please educate yourselves. That's my final to say. Sorry, I guess it wasn't hopeful.
That's okay. Again, we say what's on your heart, what's on your mind. Nate, what do you got for a final word, my friend?
My final word is education.
Okay.
It kind of turns into what yesterday, shout out to Sean and shout out to Janae. Sean had a good Down and Dirty segment about, you know, with the recent Mike Tomlin being the only recent black head coach as of now. I think it's important to educate ourselves about, you know, situations and why coaches could be fired. Sometimes it's not always about race. You know, it has to do with just situations that unfortunately coaches are put in. David Culley, for honestly and truthfully, I think was fired because he was just someone that just hold the fort down and hopefully the fort doesn't burn down. You got other issues. You got stuff that's going on in Washington. You know, it's really important to study these issues when it comes to particularly voting rights and, you know, the pandemic. And, you know, even also too with Delilah, you know, kind of piggyback on what Delilah said, you know, learning, you know, really understanding who Dr. King was and the impact he had, not just him, Gandhi, other martyrs that have made their impact on the world globally. So, you know, just continue to just educate yourselves, because education is the key to unlocking the world and your potential to be great in life. So that's my last word.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Nate. Real quick for mine, I just love. You know, I had told myself I wanted to be better at spreading the love this year, just in general, just to everyone. You know, you know, I've already buried a close friend of mine yesterday, kind of like, you know, Handy was talking about, you know, unfortunately losing his mother-in-law, his ex-mother-in-law. But yeah, guys, we're here on this planet together. I mean, we're all fighting the same fight. We're all on our borrowed time. We're all doing the best we can to live our lives the best we can. Just love each other. Just be kind. Like I said, it doesn't take that much. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It just, yeah. I feel like, you know, I just want to radiate that. I hope people feel that. Like, I generally like people, and I generally just like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I like for everyone to get along. I like for everyone to be happy. Like, I just feel like that's the way life should be. Life is hard enough as it is to be fighting with people, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much just drama in the world and so much just angst that isn't necessary, I feel, just because people put the added pressure on themselves for this, that, or the other. And it's just love. And like I've always said before, I know I've said this quote before, it's kind of the Springer thing, you know, be kind to each other, or be kind to yourself and to each other. And that's really all I would have to say about that, as Tom Hanks once said, as Forrest Gump. But anyways, that concludes our show for this week. I really want to thank my guests, especially our special guest we had this week, Mr. Anthony Handy. Again, catch him later on tonight on his SEC talk show. Him
Is
and his
Nate-
partner will be. What happened?
Is Nate, are you on tonight, sir?
Yes, sir.
I was
Ooh,
gonna get to that.
competing
Don't be doing-
podcast.
Don't be
My
doing
bad.
my job, bro. Who's hosting this show? Me. You better take your headphones off, go in the other room, apologize to your wife, and do something else because I'm trying to work here, man.
Oh, whoa.
Man, what's going on?
man.
I'm gonna eat my L.
I love you, man. I love you, brother.
You're-
Delilah Crespo, of course. I mean, Delilah's just fantastic on this show every week. She always brings it. Diversity with Delilah. Always has her facts straight. Always knows what's going on. Delilah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank
Great
you.
show. Thank you. No, you're the best. You're the best. And of course, another one of our special guests this week was Mr. Nathan Late Night, the king of late night, my friend. This guy is up like 2, 3 in the morning still doing shows. Every time I wake up, I got like a 4-hour podcast from Nate waiting for me to listen to. Like, I feel like I just want to sit in a sauna and just listen for 4 hours. I might shrink about 50 pounds. But Nate, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on, man. Again,
Thank you for having me.
Get him on the Big Nate podcast. He's on, what is it, like Tuesday through Friday? You record every night? Something like that?
Tuesday and Fridays, that's when I go live.
Tuesday and Fridays you record. Okay. So listen for that. Tonight is Tuesday, so Nate will be on late night. Anthony will be on later. Delilah will be on Thursday. Again, catch the ladies, guys. Awesome show.
Ooh.
And me,
Yes,
you can
sir.
see my big round face probably next Tuesday when we do this all again. All right. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. Have a great week. And
Night, y'all.
yeah, let's go out and spread the love, folks.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Ah.